Alright, so in this video we are going to be swapping out the JD black gasket. So I don't know if you can see that. It's this black gasket right here. So I bought this from Slavens Racing. I don't know if you can see that. $10.95. So pretty cheap. Comes with these two O-rings. And it actually comes with the Torx bit that you need to get to it. But in this case, all I have here is a Phillips head screwdriver and a little 1/4 inch ratchet. So we will start out by, alright, so we've got all of our float bowl screws out. So then that will come off and set that to the side. You take this bad boy off. Set that off to the side. You are going to want to unscrew this. Which is going to be your actual float. Oh, don't want to do that. We'll set that off to the side. So it looks like we got a little bit of gasoline left in there. I'm just going to grab a little towel. So all right, still got some gasoline hanging out in there. Doesn't want to come out. So this was your float needle that fell out. We'll set that off to the side, and the screw that holds that in. So what you're going to want to do here is you're going to want to take out this screw and this screw, which are supplied with this Torx bit from Slavens, which are going to release this piece right here. I don't know if you can see that. So those screws hold that piece in. So what I like to do is just kind of put my finger on this and then start unscrewing those. And this piece will drop out. I believe it is the T10, if I'm not mistaken. T10. Alright, so this guy, as I said, is starting to fall out. So what you're going to want to do is just kind of put your hands inside here and let that fall into your hands and come out the larger side, which is, or fall right down the slide. That works too. So this is the gasket in question that we're talking about. So this is what is known to fail in these carbs. Oh. We're going to pop that bad boy off there. It came off no problem. So that's what we're looking for here. You're going to want to grab some contact cleaner or some brake clean and just clean this whole piece off to get a nice clean place for the new gasket. I use this Tusk contact cleaner. It smells so good. It smells a little bit better than brake clean. Nothing like a fresh can. right, and we're also going to want to grab a little bit of grease to help that gasket sit in here because it's going to want to move around. I use this Bel-Ray waterproof grease on everything. Now, when I say grease, I'm talking about like a super tiny amount, just like a thin layer, front and back. Just enough to get her to stick. All right. We are looking good. All right, so jumping back into the JD block gasket. So we've already covered that, right? And the two O-rings that come with it. Wasn't certain, but it's for the float valve. So on these Mikuni TMXs, you have, this is where your needle goes into for your float that controls fuel. And you have this little screw that sits here, right here, that holds this in. So you'll just use a Phillips to pull that out. And I actually had to grab a pair of needle nose and very carefully grab onto this and just slowly walk it out. So then once that comes out, you can see that O-ring on the end there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, you can see it there. I'm going to grab a pick and get that O-ring off. All right, so we've got our pick here. So we'll get that off. Old, new, you can tell, way worn. So we'll put that over there. I'm going to put a little bit of grease on this guy, just for good measure. And just to help get it on there nice and easy. All right. So we'll just slide that bad boy back on there. Now we got a freshie. And that's what that looks like. So then this guy will go back in here in this slot. Get that pushed all the way in, like so. She's seated in there. And then we'll get this pan head screw. Nice and snug. All right, so that's back on there. That's your float valve. All right, so now what we can do, one thing with the Torx heads that were in here, there's no way you'll be able to see this, but there was red Loctite on both of these. So I'm gonna actually, I don't think red is necessary. I'm just gonna put a little bit of blue, just because you definitely don't want those coming loose. All right. So this is going to go in like so. You can see she's back in there. That's our piece right there. Better look. So then best way to do this is to put your finger on top here and flip her over and just keep pressure so that you can get these screws back in here. Oh, my big hand's not doing me any justice being in the way, but you get the point. Alright, we don't want to over torque those, so just give them a nice snug. Loctite will do the rest. Alright, so that job's done. So now we can reassemble. But I'm sure you all know how to reassemble, so I'll stop talking and get this back together. And that's it. She's all back together. Now we'll get her back in the bike. Get her back on the trails. Thanks for watching.